Other big news around in the last day or so is the departure of Tyson Frizell from the St George Illawarra Dragons. We're lucky enough that young gun Tristan Sailor joins us. Good afternoon to you, Tristan. Really appreciate it. Let's begin with Tyson. Now, he confirmed that he would be leaving the Dragons and join the Newcastle Knights. When did you guys find out as a playing group?
Frizz only just told us. He had to tell us over message the other day. He just knew that the media sort of knew about it, so he wanted to tell us before we found out from the media. So it was only about a day before it got released.
Well, Tyson's link to the Knights has been floating around for a little while, but what do you think it means when he says he wanted a change?
I don't know. I think he's been with the Dragons for such a long time. He's one of the best back rowers in the world, I would say. And I think, he's just gone. He's secured his future further with that Newcastle team. And I think he's just sort of doing what's best for him and his family at this point in time.
Tristan, one of the things he did say, made clear anyway, was that he wanted to go to a team and win a premiership. What does that make the Dragons feel like?
We haven't read too much into it, I don't think. What Frizz feels is what he feels. He's been in and around that Origin and representative camps, so I guess he sort of knows that feel at the time. But we've got a lot of young back rowers coming through too, so I think it's also a good opportunity for them to shine with Jackson Ford, and you got Tyrell coming through too. So I think it's good that Frizz secured his future, and it's good for those young boys to be able to make their mark, I guess.
Tristan, it's Michael Ennis. I was over in Perth and watched you tear apart the Nines, mate, for the Dragons, who had a terrific period over there. Coming back, opening 2 games, they were unable to win them first 2 games, but you weren't in that side. What about for yourself, mate? Off contract this year, big year for yourself, if they can get back on the field?
Yeah, definitely. I think if we get back on the field, it's going to be hard for us sort of fringe players at the moment with no Canterbury Cup anymore.
Yeah.
But we just got to do our best at training, try and put that our best foot forward and get in the 17 somehow.
What about for your dad, mate? I mean, obviously, back at home, has he given you some good advice, in terms of handling this early part of your career?
Not as such. I think mainly we've been in isolation together for so long that he's just eating all the food and laying around. So he's a bit hard to deal with at the moment. It was good to have a little break from him. He was out this morning, and it's good to have a little break. But no, he's been good. We haven't really been talking footy. Just been, I guess, arguing over the food and the TV and whatnot.
So, Tristan, one of the famous stories about your father is often when he was playing at the Broncos and they get in the gym and he used to be able to pump out the big bench presses and the big squat figures and all the rest of it. And whenever he was about to go for a club record or anything like that, he'd tell everybody and get them all around and they'd turn the music up and start clapping and he'd get down and he'd warm up. What's it like now you've got to train there with him?
I know. Well, he's always been like that. I think I've become conditioned to it, and I sort of just block him out in one ear, out the other. He loves that attention, so I don't actually think he'd be doing too much training at home. He doesn't have that audience he wants. Probably just Instagram stories, if so.
What about Shane Flanagan and James Shepherd? They're 2 new arrivals, obviously, at the Dragons this year. Bit of turnover with the staff. How have they fitted in, and what difference have they made in terms of the coaching and the way you guys have prepared for the season?
Yeah, I absolutely love Flano and Shep. They've been great additions. They're really good off the field too. They're good to have a bit of banter with, and they brought heaps to our defence and attack with both their parts. They're so hands-on with it, and they like to get us doing what they want, and they give us good demonstrations and help us get that, I guess. So they've been awesome for the group.
Given we haven't seen a lot of the Dragons this year, we only saw 2 games as well as the Nines, Charity Shield, fair call. What were you hoping to do different this year as a club? The 15th place last year, clearly some things had to change. What was the work over the summer done to try and improve?
I think we really had a focus on our culture. We had a new guy, Gerard Murphy, come in, and he sort of took us through our culture, and we just wanted to nail down some of the values that we wanted to get this year, and one of them was resiliency. So I think with the 2 games, we had those opportunities to nail the games in both of them, and we just didn't take that opportunity. But I think it's just about sort of staying in that grind, and we presented the opportunities, we just didn't execute at the time. So I think that resiliency sort of coming through. We just have to be able to execute under pressure, and we haven't been able to those first 2 games, which would have completely taken us from 2-0 instead of 0-2.
Well, you burst onto the scene in a big way last season. You were such a breath of fresh air for the Red V. So now that everything's in a bit of a suspended state, what are your personal goals once we do resume rugby league?
Well, hopefully resume this year, and we can just train well for the first grade team, and hopefully I can get into that 17. If not, it'll just be a focus on I guess my manager talking with either the Dragons or other clubs to try and get something for next year, and it will just all depend on how the game goes financially and how many teams are still in the comp, I guess.
We heard a little bit about you too, Tristan, over the summer about the squat record.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mate, what has Dad said about that? Do you give him some stick back? Because I imagine you got him beat there.
Yeah, well, he went straight to he was playing Australia at 18, so he used that one. But we I think 2 off seasons ago we were in the gym pretty much every day together, and it was really good that we could challenge ourselves and stuff like that. But
did you get the better of him then?
I did on a lot of lifts. I got the better of him, and I don't think he was too impressed. So we didn't do much gym this off season. I think he wanted to keep his ego in check. But yeah, no, it was really good. Me and Jordan Pereira, we're squat buddies, and we had a new trainer, Adrian, come in. He was with the Melbourne and Para, and he implemented some really good gym practices that helped us all.
What's Dad like watching on TV in isolation? I couldn't imagine the old man, if anyone, Wendell, being locked down for a long period of time.
Well, he's a professional. He's always loved laying in bed and watching Netflix, and that's what he's continued to do. So he's very good at it. He's done a few grocery shoppings, which we haven't heard the end of, and then he says, "Oh, I got you guys some food," and then he ends up eating it all before we get to try it. So, yeah, he's not the best ISO buddy, but we'll get through it.
No, he hasn't had much hardship in his life at all, poor Wendell. So having to stay home, sit on the lounge. Yeah, you'd think that's his sweet spot, but actually he's managed to turn that into a problem.
Exactly.
Well, Tristan, if you could do us a favour, we'd love to set up a live webcam in your home gym just to see the peacocking between yourself and your dad. It'd be outstanding.
We'll definitely see what we can do.
Tristan Sailor, all the best this year. Hopefully it's not the last we see of you. We'd love to see some of those antics back out on the field for St George Illawarra.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.